put a sponge or some type of...
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I kind of upgraded a little bit of my equipment. I can now film at nighttime. We have a awesome light. I upgraded my phone. It looks, I think, a lot better. I don't know. Do you even notice these things? I don't know. Anyway, you guys aren't even here for this whole spiel. Let's get into it. You guys came here for some tea, and I'm gonna give you some tea. So there is this video from a channel called Howcast. Before I do this, I just want to say I am sure that this Jungle Bob guy is a nice guy. So don't take this as an attack on him or anything like that. But there's a video that Howcast published in, let's see, 2013. So it's a little bit dated, like the information we're about to go over here. And scrolling through the comments, you can see people like Exotic Slayer, The Dark Den, Frankus Lee, just a little handful of channels that I'm sure a lot of you guys watch now, kind of, you know, correct some of this misinformation that the video is putting out there. So take this more as a criticism, not a hate video or anything like that, but there is a lot of misinformation in this video, and I wanted to go over that with you guys. Specifically though, because this is the video that I first watched when I wanted to get a tarantula. This was my first, like, intro into the tarantula world. So when I was doing my research, I took a lot of this information that he said as fact. Thank goodness I went online and saw that a lot of this information was wrong. So hopefully somebody who doesn't have a tarantula stumbles on my video first, so we can kind of debunk a lot of this misinformation before you make these mistakes, because there are some mistakes that would be made. Enough. Let's get into it. Okay.
People ask me all the time, Jungle Bob, what's the best tarantula for my kid? He wants to get a really cool pet, and I want to get him a tarantula because it's a wow type of an animal.
Okay, before we proceed, let's scroll down a little bit and read the Dark Den's comment. He said, just a quick tip for all the people that want to get a tarantula only because it's a cool pet, just don't. Smiley face. So, I'm going to agree with Pecco on that. If you are just wanting to get a pet because it's a cool pet, like, let's remember for a second that they are living. So just keep that in mind.
To own. It's a tough question to answer sometimes because there's a lot of choices. But if I have to choose, here's the three I go for most of the time. Number one is the Chilean rose hair tarantula. And my criteria, being a father as well as a pet store owner, is that I really don't want anybody to get bitten.
Okay, let's stop here again really quick. So, I am not one of those people that says
a rose hair isn't for beginners because they sometimes are moody.
Okay, all tarantulas are moody. I think rose hairs are great for beginner tarantulas. Like, I don't think you can go wrong with them. Literally, they all have attitudes. So let's get that out in the open right now. But what I really wanted to say is that I don't know many people that were bitten by, like, a Brachypelma vagans or a curly hair. I don't really know many people who have been bitten by those species, but I do know a literal boatload of people who have been bitten by rose hairs. Like, literally, if you Google tarantula bite and start, like, scrolling on the internet and reading, like, bite reports, a lot of them are bites from rose hairs. Let's just not forget, they can all bite.
You never know what's going to happen from a tarantula bite because people are allergic to bee stings and have a hard time with it, and wasp stings.
Okay. Hey, me again. So let me just interrupt again and just correct him a little bit. So there isn't really there's not much information on allergies and tarantula bites. And a lot of people say if you're allergic to bees, be careful around tarantulas. I have heard that the components in their venom, components of their venom are completely different than bees. So you can't really compare the two. Whoa, let's get back into this.
A tarantula venom isn't something that is deadly, so to speak. But if you are allergic to it, you could go into anaphylactic shock if you are bitten by a tarantula and it doesn't do well in your system. So let's pick a species therefore.
And I'm not ruling that out. It very well could happen. But I'm just saying I've never heard of it happening.
Or for a beginner that is reluctant to bite. Number one on my list, again, the rose hair tarantula. Number two, if you're looking for a desert species,
I'm starting to get uncomfortable.
Very calm, would be the Palomino blonde. This is an American tarantula.
All right, here's another thing. When I first was getting into tarantulas, I wanted a Palomino blonde, and I asked so many pet stores, do you guys have any Palomino blondes? And everybody was like, what? So I've never heard them called Palomino blondes besides in this video. If they're called by a common name, it's always been called Arizona blondes, Aphonopelma chalcodes.
Found the deserts of Texas and the Southwest, kind of plodding, kind of slow moving, not the most exciting tarantula maybe, just like the rose hair. They don't do much, but they're not going to flee from you, and they're certainly not going to bite you for any special reason. They're very, very docile creatures to deal with. So
I don't like how he has them like
for beginners.
So close to each other either. It makes me super
10-gallon
uncomfortable.
tank, desert, a little
10-gallon tank.
Oh, God, please, no!
You do not need a 10-gallon tank. These are tarantulas that spend their lives in holes, like a medium critter keeper, something of that nature with like a lot of dirt. That's gonna be a happy spider. So we don't need 10-gallon aquariums. Like, let's not get crazy now.
A little more humid environment when it comes to the rose hair, and they eat very, very infrequently.
Rose hairs do not like humidity, actually. Anyway.
Couple of crickets once a week or some kind of a insect item, and they're good to go. All tarantulas need fresh water at all times, but you don't want to put a bowl in like you do for your cat or your dog. You want to do a shallow dish, and we usually put a sponge or some type of...
Ugh, okay, let's stop. They do want a bowl of water. This brings me down to Exotic Slare's comment. Don't use sponges in water dishes. They harbor bad bacteria, which is exactly what you don't want. Leave a water dish with standing water and your tarantula will be fine. They wouldn't be of existence today after millions of years if they're going to drown in a puddle of water.
Yes, he's trying to get the ball.
Tarantulas can swim. So let's just keep sponges in the kitchen and out of their enclosures.
Moisture holding instrument that the tarantula more can suck on than it will drink. You don't
they
want to
won't.
give them a bowl they can potentially drown in a bowl of water. So that's pretty straightforward and pretty simple. If you're looking to turn that up a notch and want to go to from the very, very beginner animal to the next step, phase 2 maybe, let's look at arboreal tarantula like the pink toe from Trinidad. They are easily handled, easy to keep, small cage. Rather than a 10-gallon cage, which is more vertical, you want one that's got some height because he's a treat.
I believe he's showing just a regular Aviculera, which is a cool species. And if you want to start out with that, I don't have a problem with that. I know that they are said to be a little bit more fragile than other beginner species, but honestly, like, I don't really think it's a bad move. If you're into arboreals, I would totally recommend that for your first, like, whatever. But yeah, I would not recommend handling them because they're fast. Like, literally, I just did a video like 4 days ago. You guys saw that pink toe move, right?
It's a good looking tarantula.
Dwelling creature. The reason he's a secondary animal and a little more difficult to keep in these, but
Can we just like notice, I think that this Arizona blonde is threat posing him. Let me just screenshot this. What do you guys think? Is that a threat pose?
still in the beginner classes because pink toes can be extremely quick. You can hold him, interface with him, but when he gets nervous, he darts and he darts fast. So that makes him a little less of a beginner, but still in the beginner category for sure.
Okay, I agree with
The
that.
rose hair, the Palomino blonde, or the pink toe would be my 3 readily available, inexpensive beginner tarantulas. Good luck.
Okay, so I agree with all 3 species that he recommended. I think you could start with all 3 of those and have a really positive experience, but a lot of that information was really outdated or incorrect. Again, this video is from 2013. So information changes, we learn new things. I mean, that's part of what makes this hobby fun. But you have to keep in mind that it's 2018. We have new opinions. We've learned a lot over the years. I don't really know, but it's just, I stumbled across it as a beginner. I know a lot of people stumble across it as beginners. It comes up quite quickly when you search beginner tarantulas. So lots of new keepers are getting this information and it's just not right anymore. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Was I a little harsh? I kind of feel like maybe I was, but Like I said, Jungle Bob seems like a cool dude. I just don't think his information was accurate or is accurate in this video anymore. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know, like this video, subscribe if you're not and you want to be. I noticed that there are other videos on this channel that I probably could react to. If you want me to react to the other videos that they've posted, let me know. Comment down below. Stay tuned, I have a lot of cool stuff in store for you guys, and I will see you soon.
Yes, he's trying to get the ball.